Welcome in, everyone, to the Big Blue for You podcast. I am your host, Luke Kimberton, and today we're going to recap a little bit on Kentucky's win over Vandy. Just touch on that one more time, and then we're also going to preview this upcoming game, noon Eastern, tomorrow, September the 30th. Kentucky versus Florida, 12 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Unless you're going to be there, then obviously start pounding the beers early. Pound the beers. So yeah, exciting game. Obviously, it's really kind of, I hate to say it like this, but it's kind of the first game of the season, so everybody's kind of fired up about it. If you haven't already, smash that like button, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, helps us out a lot around here. Leave a comment on the video as well. Unless you disagree with me, then you know what you do. You smash the dislike button, you tell me I'm an idiot in the comments, you don't be mindless sheep, people. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Okay, so as I stated, Kentucky is playing Florida Saturday, which is tomorrow. Sorry I'm recording this video and getting it uploaded so late. Had some personal stuff going on. Don't really want to talk about it on this, but we'll get through it, and I'll have this uploaded tomorrow. I'll hit you with the instant insight. But Kentucky opened as a 3.5-point favorite against Florida, and they have now been bet down to a 1-point favorite. I got to tell you, thank you to DraftKings. You've given me a ton of free codes. FanDuel, you've helped me out as well. Tons of free betting. Last night, Packers-Lions, I bet that if either team scored a point, I put $50 on it. I won $50. So did that on DraftKings and on FanDuel. So I am up $100 so far throughout the season. There's another one on DraftKings and on FanDuel for this Saturday's game. If Kentucky scores 1 point, just 1 point, you win your money. So, no-brainer bets. You got to hop all over it. But to backtrack a little bit, let's take this a little further back to Kentucky's win over Vandy, 45-28. Not a great day for Devin Leary. The offense got off to a hot start. They were up 24-0 at one point, and then, Kentucky did what Kentucky's doing this season, which is shooting themselves in the foot with penalties, with terrible mistakes. Just stuff that shouldn't be happening to such an experienced team and to a Mark Stoops coach team, because Mark Stoops coach teams, generally speaking, don't have these issues. And that's why it's so confusing to me why this team is struggling the way that they are struggling in terms of, just making mistakes, stupid stuff. It's very frustrating as a fan, and it's got to change. It's got to change. The penalties have to stop. Realistically, the last score of that game, Kentucky, the last couple scores, they're sitting back in prevent defense. Like, they're not trying to get stops. They're just trying to get that clock to run as much as possible, keep everything in front of them. So I don't really care about the last score that happened at the end of the game. Like I said, I thought Kentucky looked solid overall for the most part. The defense was pretty darn good, especially Maxwell Hairston. He was the SEC Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week. Much deserved with 2 pick sixes. First time in school history that anybody has had 2 pick sixes in one game. So, very exciting stuff from Maxwell Hairston. The kid's only a sophomore. I mean, that kid's going to be a stud. Just all in all, the team only had 1 sack in the game, but that's where sacks can be misleading. They pressured A.J. Swan all day long. Maxwell Hairston and Andrew Phillips were locked down corners. This team is weird. Like, the things that I thought would be good are not good. The things I thought would be bad are not bad. It's just a weird season. Like, it's weird. It is really weird watching Kentucky football and not knowing what to expect from a Mark Stoops coach team, because normally I know exactly what I'm going to get from a Mark Stoops team. I know they're going to be physical. I know they're going to run the ball. And I know they're going to play defense. I don't know if they're going to do any of those things. They might throw for 400 yards one day. It's so weird. Oh, cat, please don't miss the box. I'm sorry, my cat's using the restroom right now. Yeah, that's how low budget we are. My man cave I share with the cats. That's how low budget we are around here. But anyways, I think that's enough on the Vandy game. I don't think anybody cares. I think people only care about what's coming up during the Florida game. Yeah, so Kentucky, Florida, like I said, opened as a 3.5-point favorite for Kentucky. It's been bet down to all the way down to 1, at least on this site. I'll check what DraftKings has to say, because I think I got it at 1.5. I gotta log back in. But, yeah, all in all, I do think Kentucky's a better team. I really do. I don't think Florida's that good. I really don't. I don't think anybody is that good this year. Let's be clear. Nobody is that good this year in college football. Like, I mean, Georgia is Georgia, Michigan's Michigan, Ohio State. Like, those schools are very good. But in the SEC in particular, outside of Georgia, it's just it's going to be a wild race for second place. Like, that's all it is. There's no guaranteed second place. We're not looking at, a 2-team race. This is like a 15-team race. Well, there's not 15 teams in the SEC, but like literally almost every single team in the SEC has a legitimate chance to get to Atlanta and in a one-game scenario win the SEC championship. I really don't know what to expect. Let's see. What did I get the Kentucky game at? Yeah, I got it at 1.5 is what I got it at. Let's see if it's still the case here with DraftKings. Hey, get off my screen. I don't need ads about gambling responsibly. I don't have a problem. Yeah, still 1.5. 1.5 on DraftKings. Like I said, I used a certain promo code. I won't say the promo code over here. But, if you're interested, text or, just leave me a comment. I'll send you my referral link, and we'll go from there. So, again, huge game coming up. I think the key for this game, realistically, is the game's going to be won in the trenches. Kentucky has to be able to establish some type of run game. Kentucky needs to establish the run, and they need to shut down Florida's run, because that's what Florida does well. Florida runs the ball really well. Graham Mertz is not a good quarterback, okay? The quarterback play across the entire SEC is not very good this year, but Graham Mertz is not a good quarterback. Florida's offensive line is not that great. Kentucky's front seven really needs to have a field day and just needs to attack downhill. They need to attack, they need to punch them in the mouth, come out early, jump out to a big lead, establish the run after that, and milk the clock. Just get out to a good lead and let the defense take care of it from there. It's all Kentucky needs to do. Which is a lot easier said than done, because Florida has a really good defense. I mean, Florida's defense is good, just statistically speaking. Realistically, I'm only betting this game because I have free money from promo codes. Hello, Cat. Hello, buddy. But defensively, Florida's defense is 15th in the country in passing yards. They're 15th in rushing yards, and they're 17th in points. They only give up 13.5 points a game. They shut down the Josh Heupel Tennessee offense. Now, I also think that's because Tennessee is not that great. But Florida is a solid team for sure. They're dangerous. They could come in here and they could definitely beat us. Kentucky needs to win this game. They're trying to go for their third straight win over Florida. I still remember a time when I thought I would never see a Kentucky football win over Florida, and now to think that we're going for our third straight, it needs to happen. We need to beat these guys. You want to have a great season? You want to have a special season? You need to beat Florida on Saturday. You need to beat them. You need to kick their asses all the way back to the curb. Florida's offense is not great. They do run the ball pretty well. But Kentucky's rush defense is really what Kentucky does well defensively, is stop the run. Offensively, I think for Kentucky, like I said, run the ball. You need to find a way to establish the ground game, because you can work the play action off of that and then throw that ball deep and you got something over the top. So you've got to work the play. In a pro-style West Coast offense, it's imperative that you be able to run the football. It's just, it has to happen. You have to be able to run the ball. You have to be able to throw the ball deep down the field, and that's what's going to have to happen. This Kentucky team is weird. It's an explosive offense that goes 3 and out fairly often. It's weird. It doesn't make any sense. they'll have drives where it's 4 plays, 75 yards, and it's like, what the hell? And then the next drive, Devin Leary's dropping the snap or tripping over his offensive lineman. And it's like, what the hell? It doesn't make any sense. Like, they need they've got to find some type of consistency. My keys for the game on offense. I want to see 150 yards rushing. That's really not that much. Like, normally you would need more than that. You would need close to 200. But 150 yards rushing, and I want to see 250 yards passing. That's 400 yards of total offense. That gives you a chance to really win the game. Also, no turnovers. None. Zero. Zilch. No turnovers. None of them. I don't want to see turnovers. I want to see less than 5 penalties as a team, and I want to see just overall Kentucky just win at the point of attack. They need to win down in the trenches against Florida. I think they are capable, but we'll see. I mean, I really don't know how to feel about this game. Part of me feels extremely confident, and part of me feels like, dude, we could get blown out in this game. Like, and I think part of that is because I don't know how to feel about Kentucky. I have no idea how to feel about them. I feel like on any given day they can beat anybody, and on any given day they can lose to anybody. It's such a wildly inconsistent team so far, and maybe some of that gets fixed just based on the fact that you're playing Florida and that you're focused. We'll, like I said, we'll see. But the game's at noon Eastern, so tailgating starts at 7 a.m., which those 7 a.m. beers are going to hit different. Get up, start drinking early, make Kroger Field as loud as humanly possible. I want the stadium to be shaking by the second quarter. I will not be there. I have other engagements. I have other things I have to deal with. Unfortunately, so that makes me sad. But should be able to watch the game. Should be just fine. Look, I could go into a deeper dive on the numbers and stuff, but frankly, I don't think anybody really wants to hear that. I guess we'll just talk about their main players, their quarterbacks. Graham Mertz almost was here in Lexington. We got Devin Leary instead, so that's kind of a storyline in the game. Is the fact that we chose Devin Leary over Graham Mertz. Devin Leary needs to have a big game because we chose this guy over Graham Mertz. Graham Mertz needs to have one of his worst days that we've ever seen. He did not look good against Utah. I still don't think he's a particularly good quarterback. I don't think Florida's a particularly good team either. But somebody's going to win this game. I think the SEC is so bad this year, man. It's all the good teams are on the West Coast, except for Georgia and Michigan. They're all out west. It's weird. It's a weird year in college football. I don't know how to. I just don't know how to feel about anything this year when I'm betting games. And I still have my free bets, and I want you all to get my referral code because I get more free bets. And I have no problem gambling free money. I do not like gambling my own money. So, free money is where it is at. So, Graham Mertz is their quarterback. Their running back is Trevor Etienne. If you don't know who that is, he's Travis Etienne's brother, the Jacksonville Jaguars running back, former Clemson running back that won a national title there. He's a good-looking running back for sure. Ricky Pearsall has some of the softest hands I've ever seen. Guy's a good receiver. So Kentucky will be challenged a little bit today for sure, or on Saturday for sure. Realistically, like I said, offensively, 150 yards passing, 150 yards rushing, 250 yards passing, no turnovers. As a team as a whole, I want 5 penalties or less. Defensively, I want 10 TFLs and 4 sacks every single week, and I want to force at least 2 turnovers. So that's kind of the keys for the game for me. That's kind of what I really want to see from this Kentucky team. All in all, do I think Kentucky is going to win this game? Yeah, they should. I mean, I'm going to give you a score prediction. I'm going to go 28-24 Kentucky. I think Kentucky is the better team. I do think Kentucky needs to win this game. Like I said, if you want to have a special season, you want to have an elite season here in Lexington, you need to beat these guys. You beat them, and then when you play Georgia, you roll the ball out there and you see what happens. But this is a game where I think Kentucky is the better team. Vegas thinks Kentucky's the better team. You need to win this game. Like, no questions asked, you need to win this game. There's no overstating that this is by far the biggest game on the schedule. If Kentucky goes in, looking at the schedule, they play the next 3 games. Florida, Georgia, Mizzou before they have the bye week. You need to win 2 of those. At least 2 of them. You win 1 of them, you're sitting at 5-2, and you would still have a chance to do something, but I think 6-1, the difference between 5-2 and 6-1 is astronomical. I would feel so much better at 6-1. So, essentially, as much of a must-win game as a Week 5 game can be, it's basically a must-win for Kentucky to have a special season, to stay competitive in the SEC East race, and to stay undefeated overall. And if you win, you'll be in the top 25 going down to play Georgia. So, again, too many reasons for Kentucky to not win this game. Like I said, the fact that they actually have more talent. Believe it or not, Kentucky has more talent. They have more 4- and 5-star players than Florida does, which I never thought I would say that in my life. Kentucky is the more talented team, and they need to blow these. They need to beat these guys, man. There's nothing else to say about it. And having said that, I'm really running out of things to talk about, and frankly, I'm not just going to sit here and babble on about bullcrap forever. So if you haven't already, smash the like button, hit subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification bell, leave a comment on the video. Unless you disagree with me, then you know what to do. You smash the dislike button, you tell me I'm an idiot in the comments, and you don't be mindless sheep people. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Go Cats.